You mentioned the importance of specificity in applications. How can you strike a good balance between exploring a range of legal areas and also showing passion for a specific area? Great question. I think that what's quite interesting is I talk a lot with my students about this idea of a thread. So the thread is this sort of underpinning idea that connects a lot of different parts of your interests. And quite a lot of the time, people do it really without realizing. So let's say I had a student come to me a couple of years ago where they said, I'm not really too sure about how to write a personal statement because I'm really interested in contract law, but I'm also really interested in sexual offences law and kind of criminal law surrounding sexual offences. Then when we looked a little bit deeper, what they were talking about was about offer and kind of when is an agreement valid in contract law. And they were looking also at things like consent. And it was this idea of consent that was really interesting to them in sexual offences law. And what was really fascinating was that they were kind of circling the same issue, this idea of when is an agreement valid and how does the law interact and find that valid agreement across a number of different circumstances. So what I would say is have a think about all of the areas that you're interested in and then find that thread. For some people, it's the gap between what law is in theory and what law does in practice. That comes up a lot. For some people, it's this idea of interpretation. For some people, like I was kind of talking about earlier, it's this idea of power. Now, power can come about if you're interested in, say, corporate law, and you're interested in things like monopolies and antitrust law, but it can also come up in this criminal aspect. So being specific doesn't mean that you have to really tailor everything so tightly that you can't move out of this specific area, but it does help to think about, well, why am I interested in that? So let me know if that answers your question well enough, but that would be my general advice.